Hey travelers, welcome back to Ghostlight. Listen, I've been out of touch for a few days. The main computer on the Osprey here went down, and the wait time for getting tech support out to the Autophages galaxy was a doozy. Anyways, there's an update coming. That's old news by now. There's been a series of tweets by Sean Murray, a Datamine expedition leak, and some pretty interesting audio files. Needless to say, spoilers ahead. Also, I've seen some recent hate on speculation videos around YouTube. I'll be doing some lore and evidence-based speculating in this video. You've been warned. So let's get into it. Last week, No Man's Sky was released for Mac, as teased by CEO of Hello Games, Sean Murray, with these Apple tweets. He followed that up with another, a pair of apples. Red apples, green apples. I did a speculation video, linked above, and you know what? I'm standing by it. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Shortly after the release, Sean sent yet another tweet. This cowboy made of red apples. That same day, we got a drop of Datamine content from the game files courtesy of That Bomber Boy on Twitter. And honestly, it reminded me of something we saw weeks prior. In my Apple speculation video, I mentioned the Autophages and their binary cry out to the Void Mother. But what I hadn't mentioned was that there was an additional dialogue appearing alongside the binary fragments. This dialogue seemed to reference their place of origin on the junkyard forgotten moons of Korvax Prime. It referenced pockets of sentience left behind in need of saving. It speaks of the pungium that greases their joints, which is an attribute of the Aeron race, the Sentinels. It speaks of helping themselves to the best of all technology, drinking their foam. Nanite foam, perhaps? Is this what's causing this new Sentinel type? And transcending their heritage, just to name a few. But the first dialogue, though, simply says, Reassemble. Now, it seems that the Datamine game files point to a coming expedition called Crucible, which alludes to a trial that we'll have to undergo to complete our mission. Furthermore, the game files point to a few new craftable items coming to the game. A robot head, core, body, arms, and legs. It appears that we may be reassembling these autophages in the coming update. Also, it seems that icon in the harmonic echolocations is actually an autophage's head. Who knew? But for what purpose? Will this be a new companion? An ally to help us in the coming conflict between the Atlas, Red Apple, and the Atlantid, Green Apple? I told you, I'm sticking to my guns on this. Speaking of sticking to guns, will this autophage become a cowboy or a sheriff for the Atlas? Now, again, this is not a lore video, but the Sentinels seem to have been conceived as policing droids for the Atlas and Telamon. Once monitoring protocol for the Atlas, now that little voice in your exosuit. The Sentinels watched as the Korvax and Korvax Prime were destroyed in countless universes. They watched as the Atlas stood by, did nothing, and eventually went silent. Rogue factions would break out and oppose the others. There are crashed freighter files that speak of the ships coming from other universes, which were destroyed by Sentinels in conflict with one another. One faction complacent with their original programming to seek out anomalies, while the other fights to break free. But in service to whom? The Void Mother, perhaps? Interesting. Red apples, green apples. If that's not enough to fuel speculation, Sean Murray tweeted this out on the 5th. A brain. Now, we've seen brains in the Interceptor update, Highland brains, the central processing unit of the Sentinel interceptor. It starts in this volatile state until we disconnect it from the hive and enmesh it in an archived memory. Then it becomes harmonic and accepts our presence. What about an intelligence? An emerging AI capable of taking on the Atlas, like the Atlantid? Said to be modeled after an early iteration of Loop 16. Among the Datamine files, 5 audio files were found that weren't linked to any particular function in-game, and when run through a spectrogram, this image can be seen. Now, big shout out to Brian the Gamer 0 on Twitter for this one. Hidden in the audio, you can see the words, "She sees through their eyes." Who? The Void Mother? Maybe she sees through the eyes of the corrupted Aryans. Maybe through the eyes of those infected by the nanite-contaminated water in the universe. Wait, another tweet yesterday morning. Now 2 brains from Sean Murray. 2 AIs? Is this the AI conflict I mentioned in my earlier speculation video? Maybe. Red apple. Green apple. I still think it's happening, fellow travelers. So that's it. But is it? There's one thing I can't shake. She sees through their eyes. I assume that's the Void Mother. The Atlantid. The Abyss. Korvax Prime. But someone else sees through the eyes of others. Someone who the Atlas holds as a sibling of sorts. Another AI, in fact. And one that has vowed to wear us one day, fellow travelers. That's right. Telamon. She's in our suit. All of our suits. Everywhere. All at once. Again, this is not a lore video, but look into this for me and let me know what you think. Read about Laylaps in their travels to the world of glass. Read the boundary failure encounters. And you let me know in the comments below. But let me ask, what is the actual origin of the Atlantid? I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you'd like to see in the next video. Hit that notification bell. And as always, sweet Rift Walkers, I'll see you tonight.